Hello, I'm Keenan Williams, and we are the best of friends for the next few minutes as we look deeper into ourselves with a view from the outside. This is the KW Media Social Impact Podcast, the Social Distancing Series. Influences is what I'd like to chat about today, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day and that you are being an influential person to somebody else and also adding some positive influence to somebody else's life. I was reading something interesting a couple of days ago which said that when we remember who we are, we remember that we are enough. And to get to that state of knowing who we are and also remembering that we are enough, we need to surround ourselves with people who will celebrate us and believe in our dream more than what we do until such time that we believe in it too. This is what I touched on a couple of days ago, and I promised that I would speak about influences and the words we use to speak to ourselves. And we won't be able to speak to ourselves unless we know who we really are, because you can't speak to yourself if you don't know the person who you're speaking to. So getting to that understanding of knowing who you are first, and then getting to speak to yourself, because you can't speak to a complete stranger. You need to know yourself before you can speak to yourself. So get to know yourself first, and then you get to speak to yourself and add that positive influence into your life, and also add that positive influence into the lives of somebody else. But for so many people, they are faced with the reality that there's so much negativity in their lives, there's so much negativity in the words spoken to them by the people who have an influence on their lives. There's lots of people who influence us. It's not just the people we have close contact with, it's the people we follow on social media. Hence, we have terms such as social media influencers, because they have an influence on your life, and they influence the things you do, the things you say, the way you dress, the places you go to, the way you view your life, and the dreams you have for yourself as well. Because if you're following a social media influencer and this person is driving the best cars, they're living in the biggest houses, they are going on holiday all over the place, post-lockdown obviously, and you start to wish for this on your life as well. You start to wish and you have a desire to sip cocktails on a beach in Thailand, to go and meet some celebrities, to be a social media influencer of yourself as well, not understanding that those are okay things. Those are things that's fine to wish for yourself and dream in your life. But the big understanding is getting to that state of mind where you will be able to believe in yourself and also say, I would like to motivate other people and like to have a positive influence on somebody else's life. Because if you're going to be posting something that is merely a big house and you are posting all the luxurious things in life, who are you doing it for? Are you doing it to make people jealous? Or are you doing it to motivate people? What's your reason that you're doing that? And we need to reboot, and we need to re-look at how we do certain things in life. And this is the ideal opportunity. That's why we decided to sit around and to work on certain structures of how we're going to work around the lockdown, the social isolation that people are faced with. There are going to be interviews where we're going to be speaking about the mental health, the mental psychological being of self, and how you can move on beyond that. And during this time that we are busy with our Social Impact Podcast and the Social Distancing series, we decided, okay, we are going to look deeper within oneself, because in life, and we post things onto social media, we portray a specific life, but deep down, we might be a broken, we might be a hurting people, and we might not have moved on from the pain of the past. So that's why we decided, okay, we're going to look a little bit deeper from the inside and deal with our own little demons before we can portray some sort of happiness into the world around us. And we need to reboot, we need to relook, we need to redirect how we are living our lives and how we are doing certain things. So like a computer, your mind has been programmed by the negative influences within the world and within society. There's so much bad news, there's so much fake news going about on social media, and it's just popping up day after day, and people's just sharing this stuff, and you are reading this, and it just adds negativity into your life. So like a computer, you have been programmed with all this negativity in your life, but like a computer, you can reboot and you can redirect your focus and say, I don't want this in my life. I don't want to focus just on the negative. I don't just want to focus on the bad stuff. I want to look at the good stuff as well. I want the positive influence. I want to be a positive influence to somebody else. I want somebody to be a positive influence to me. And I want to surround myself with people who will celebrate me and will add that positive influence into my life. I heard a very interesting story a couple of months ago about this. I don't know if it's a real story, a fictional story, but it ties in well with this scenario of influences. So there was this baseball player, very famous baseball player in the United States. He decided, okay, he's going to go and visit a prison. And he visited a prison and he was doing a talk and he said, okay, is there anybody who has any questions? And one of the prisoners puts up his hand and he said, so I'd like to know from you, how did you become a professional baseball player? And the baseball player said, when I was young and I was growing up, I was busy playing baseball with my dad. I would be standing there with a bat in my hand and my dad would pitch the ball and I would miss. I would miss the first ball. I'd miss the second ball, the fourth, the fifth, the 10th ball, the 11th ball, the 20th ball. I would miss all the balls. And my dad came up to me and he said, son, one day you are going to be a professional baseball player. You are going to hit so many balls and get so many home runs that you are going to be so famous that they're going to invite you to speak at various places. And this is the truth that was spoken into my life, and this is who I became. And the baseball player said, this has a lot of truth in it, because when I was growing up, all my dad told me was that you are going to be a failure and you are going to amount to nothing and you're going to end up in prison one day. And that's where I am. Then there's another story about a mother and a daughter, a little daughter, about 4 or 5 years old. They were walking in a shopping center somewhere. And the daughter, she picks up a bottle of milk, one of those glass bottles of milk, and she's walking around with it. La, 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 la. She's walking around with it. And the milk falls out of her hand. The bottle of milk falls out of her hand and hits the floor and breaks. Bah! Broken. And the mother looks at the girl and she says, you stupid girl! How dare you have done such a thing? And then there's another story of another mother and her daughter, also around the same age. And the daughter, I don't know what it is about daughters, but she was walking with this glass bottle of milk as well. She was walking around, la, 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 and the milk falls on the floor and breaks. Bah! And the mother looks at the girl and she says, what a stupid thing you had done. You see, the words we use can have an influence on the lives of somebody else. If we look at those two stories, two very similar stories, but changed somewhat, right? We have the story of the baseball player who said that his father spoke positivity into his life and also spoke about he will be a professional baseball player, even though he couldn't hit any balls, that his father believed in him. So he had someone who believed in him more than what he did, until that time that he believed in his dream and believed that he would be able to achieve what he wanted to achieve. Then we had the story of the one little girl whose mother said, you stupid girl. And then the second mother rephrases and said, what a stupid thing you did. And not addressing the girl as stupid. So we need to think about how we address people in our lives. And it's not just the external people, the people who come into our lives. It's also our family members, our children, our wives, our husbands, our spouses, our partners, our friends. How do we speak to certain people? Sometimes we think that it is okay to use certain words and to just throw them around loosely and not think that it's going to have a massive impact onto somebody else's life. Yes, the girl who might have been called stupid might not have ended up believing that she was stupid, but we need to get to that understanding that the words we use influences where people end up and how people portray themselves and how people believe in themselves and how people see themselves in the world. Because if we are going to go around and we're going to say, you stupid, you stupid, you stupid, out of the 5 people we called stupid, somebody or some people in that group of 5 people we called stupid is starting to believe that they are indeed stupid, because we need to get that understanding too. We are all at different stages in our psychological well-being and in our emotional strength in life, that certain people can handle certain things, other people can't. Other people, they might have a low self-esteem, and you call that person stupid. They start to believe that they are stupid. I use the scenario at schools, and I go to young people and I say, if I have this stone in front of me and I go to the stone every day after school and I tell the stone that you are chicken, will the stone turn into a chicken? And the unanimous answer is no, it won't turn into a chicken unless I carve it and make a rock sculpture out of it to make it a chicken, but it won't turn into a real chicken. But if I go to it each and every day, I ask them, and I go to the stone and I say, you are chicken, will the stone turn into a chicken? And they say no, because the stone is a stone. And indeed, we need to get to that mentality that we are too like stones, that we need to harden ourselves to the negativity that's spoken into our lives. We should not listen to the negative things that people say into our lives and people do into our lives. It's difficult to do that, to separate yourself from the negativity, especially if you have people in your life who are your spouses, your partners, people who are very close to you, people you look up to, people you classify as role models and have a huge impact and influence on your life, such as parents. You have a wonderful role in the life of your child, but sometimes you fail in that regard because you might be speaking negativity into the lives of your children. We heard the story of the little girl who was called stupid. She might end up one day to believe and have this low self-esteem and believe that she is worthless and that she is stupid and she won't amount to anything in life. Then you had the second parent who words it correctly and says, it's a stupid thing you did. You are not stupid, but it's a stupid thing you did, because we do stupid things in life. We do certain things that just push us over the edge or push someone over the edge, but it does not make us as people failures or stupid or idiotic. It does not make us to be that. It does not make us any much more a chicken if we go to ourselves every day and stand in front of the mirror and say, you are chicken, you'll never turn into a chicken. You can go for plastic surgery, but you won't be able to turn into a chicken and to lay eggs as a chicken does. So you need to harden yourself to the negativity that people say into your life, but you need to listen to the positive things that people say into your life, and you need to be the positive influence that you have into the lives of somebody else as well. I end off with this, that Maya Angelou, who was an amazing poet and spoken word artist from the United States of America, God rest her soul, she said once that it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you did. What matters is people will remember you by how you made them feel. So it doesn't matter what you did, it doesn't matter what you said, it matters with how you made someone feel. How do you make someone feel through the words you use? How do you make someone feel through the way you treat them, through the way you do certain things? So how do you make people feel through the things you do? How do you make someone feel through the words you use to address them, to speak to them? That's how people will remember you. Not by the big words that you're using, not by what you are doing, by feeding the poor or clothing the naked or whatever you are doing, by how you make somebody else feel. So, from myself, Keenan Williams, keep rocking SA. Bye-bye.